In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to optimize and scale Advantage Plus shopping campaigns. Now, this is a secret most people don't share, but guess what? This guy is about to expose it for everyone. First, if you haven't watched the last video about Advantage Plus shopping campaigns, go ahead and check that out. That'll show you how to use it, how to make sure it actually works, how to structure everything. But if you already have it set up and you want to know, hey, how do I actually scale this thing? Here we go. First and foremost, with Advantage Plus shopping campaigns, they can take a bit to optimize. But once they do, we've seen them be like freight trains, and they have this insane level of stability. I mean, we have campaigns that we've run for more than 12 months and have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars after they've stabilized on only 1 or 2 ads, which is why we don't really recommend touching these campaigns in the first 5 to 7 days, because this campaign is heavily reliant on machine learning, and it does take a little bit of time to find its groove and to get that traction. If you mess with it too soon, you may jeopardize the optimization. Now, knowing that, there are 5 steps to go through with Advantage Plus shopping campaigns that will allow you to cut poor performance, hedge against loss, inject new ads, and also know when to turn off and when to scale the ads. Now, before I dive into all of that, the most important thing to ask yourself is, how is my campaign performing? You know, if your campaign is overall performing inside your target key performance indicator range that you've set, whether that's a ROAS goal or a cost per acquisition goal, then don't touch anything. Even if there's an ad inside the campaign that is maybe bringing down the average, it's very natural to want to go and turn off that ad to then let the other ones bring the overall results up, right? But there's a lot of stuff that's at play that you may not even realize. You know, somebody may have clicked on that lower performing ad, and then they clicked on a different ad that maybe hit them with retargeting, and the purchase came from there, but it originated from here. There's a lot at work. So if your campaign is performing at your target range, then leave it.
Leave it there.
But assuming it isn't working, here are the 5 steps that we go through to scale Advantage Plus shopping campaigns. Step number 1, determine 2 kill switch thresholds. So getting to the first purchase in any campaign is usually the most expensive because Facebook doesn't have a whole lot of data to go on. Once it gets that first purchase, however, subsequent purchases usually become cheaper. Now, around our office, we like to say purchases equals potential, because once you get that first one, Facebook is able to then use that data to go find other customers. That's why I recommend setting 2 kill switches on the ad level. Kill switch number 1 is the amount you're willing to spend in order to get that first purchase. Kill switch number 2 is the amount you're willing to spend to be at your target KPI. For example, let's say my average order value is $50. My level 1 kill switch might be $100 or 2 times AOV. And my level 2 kill switch might be $250, meaning I'm willing to spend $100 to get that first purchase, assuming Facebook would use that data to then get the next purchase much faster. But by $250, I would want that ad to be within my target KPI range. Step number 2, monitor trends. So as the ads begin to spend, we monitor day over day trends using the breakdown chart inside Ads Manager to see if it's trending in maybe a good direction or, unfortunately, sometimes a bad direction. Sometimes it's very apparent that the ad got a purchase on day 1 and then just kind of went downhill with no more purchases. Other times you'll see it get nothing on day 1, but on day 2, 3, and so on, it begins to get more purchases at a lower cost. That means that maybe by the time you reach the kill switch number 2 threshold, your overall results might be lower than your KPI, but trend-wise, you're on track. You're trending in a good direction. In these scenarios, use your intuition to decide, hey, to keep them on or to turn them off based on the direction of the trend of that ad, whether up or whether down. Having our kill switches in place and monitoring these trends will then move us into step number 3. But before you do, if you're finding this video valuable, please give this video a thumbs up. It'll help the YouTube algorithm get a little bit of love to us, and it'll get it in more hands of other entrepreneurs just like you who will benefit from it. All right, so step number 3, turn off ads. This is pretty simple. Shut ads off that don't pass kill switch number 1 or number 2. Usually what happens when you launch your Advantage Plus shopping campaign is Facebook will spend a few dollars on each of the ads and then heavyweight most of the budget into a single ad. This is completely fine. Don't freak out about it because you'll be making decisions on an ad level. So as each of those ads reach those 2 different kill switch thresholds, you'll simply turn things off and Facebook will redistribute the budget to the other ads so they all get their fair share of spend. So using the example from before, if we launched with 3 ads and it heavyweighted the spend to, let's say, ad number 3, and it had a purchase by $100, but it wasn't in our target KPI range by $250, well, then we would shut off that ad so it could then begin spending on the other ads. This takes us to step number 4. Once we have turned off an ad that reached those kill switch thresholds, we would then move to this step and inject new ads. If you turn off an ad inside the running campaign, it'll usually redistribute to one of the other 2 ads or one of the other ads that are also active in that campaign at that time. While that happens, we're also going to inject a new ad into that campaign so that Facebook has more to work with. So every time you turn an ad off, you inject a new one. In doing so, we'll always keep a full hopper for your Facebook account to pull from as it finds your ideal customers. But using this strategy, when do you actually get to scale up your budget? This brings us to step number 5, adjust your budget. The easy answer to when you adjust your budget is when you've earned it. We don't scale up anything that doesn't have a strong foundation. So for Advantage Plus shopping campaigns, we're looking for scale, but more importantly, we're also looking for stability. So there are 2 questions we need to answer when it comes to adjusting the budget. Question number 1 is, when do we adjust the budget? And question number 2 is, by how much do we adjust the budgets? With Advantage Plus shopping campaigns, we usually see performance dip for a few days following a budget increase. So we usually only like to do them once per week, sometimes twice. But we'll only increase budgets if the overall campaign is at our target KPI in the last 7 to 14 days and the trends look positive. For example, let's say you're using return on ad spend, ROAS, as your metric with 2.2 ROAS as your target. So meaning, hey, at 2.2 and above, we are in our target range. Well, if your overall campaign is above 2.2 in the last 7 to 14 days, and it has been consistently producing that result, then we'll increase the budget. If, however, it's downtrending, and let's say it's a 1.5, then we may consider pulling back the budget as we trim the poor performing ads and let the results come back up. So how much do you increase the budget? Well, this is going to be more preferential. While we used to increase budgets by, let's call it 10 or 20%, we used to use percentages every few days. We've seen that with Advantage Plus shopping campaigns, you can make big jumps and experience the same results as small jumps. For example, you may go from $100 a day in spend to $250 a day in spend. let it stabilize over the next week, then jump it from $250 to $500 a day in spend. We've even tested going from $150 to $750 a day, and we saw the same results as going from $150 to $250. The most important thing to know is that we usually see a dip in the first few days after adjusting the budget. So how much you decide to adjust the budget will be largely dependent on how much you can really stomach, knowing that you'll likely lose a bit over those first few days, but then it typically stabilizes out a few days later. If you follow these 5 steps, you'll be able to hedge your losses, amplify your winners, and create stability inside your Facebook ad account. We've been doing this for more than 18 months now with Advantage Plus shopping campaigns in particular, and we have only seen the results get better and better and better. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this valuable, please consider subscribing to our channel. It's absolutely free. That's the great thing about YouTube, and you can always unsubscribe if you're like, hey, I don't really like you guys anymore. Also, if you've ever run an Advantage Plus shopping campaign and you have any tips or tricks or things that you have learned, I would encourage you, drop it in the comments. We love to engage in conversation, and we learn a lot by seeing what other people are doing and having those conversations. And while you're down there, hit the like button, and we'll see you next time.